church people are hypocrites and Jesus is not real. Hi family, welcome back to my channel. My name is Candace and it's always a pleasure to have you with me. So today I'm going to share with you why I left the faith of Christianity for 2 years. I was done. I was done with the church. I wanted nothing to do with Christianity. But what started that? What really led to that? So let's start from the beginning. My dad was a pastor. My mom served in leadership in the church. And so growing up as a PK, it felt like my life, I had to be an immortal. I could not make any mistake. All eyes, and I mean all eyes were on me. And not just eyes like within the church, but eyes within the school, eyes within the community. I'm talking about there were like probably little funny things I would say in primary school and people would be like, and your dad is a pastor? Like it was just so integrated into the mindset of people all around that, hey, her father is a pastor and she is supposed to live like the most upright life ever. I was still able to navigate my relationship with the Lord until my adulthood, early adulthood. And then when I moved out so I was raised in the countryside. When I moved out into the city for work and school, not too long further in that decision, I just dropped it. I was like, sayonara, deuces, I'm out. I reached to the point of wanting to prove that God did not exist. In my thought process at the time, I was like, church people are hypocrites and Jesus is not real. Because he cannot be real. The Bible cannot be real. And they're preaching from this book, but they're living something else. Like, yeah, I think these people are just trying to control me. And I got so rebellious to the point where if you're from the Caribbean and you know Mavado and Vibes Cartel, that would be my prayer in the morning. I would get up in the morning and put on my Mavado CD and my Vibes Cartel CD. And the reason I went to that extreme... that was extreme. The reason I went that extreme is because I just wanted to be far removed from anything that was God related and anything that even seemed too subtle and holy. I wanted to be as hardcore anti-Christian as it could get. And another reason why I left the faith was because I started modeling. And now looking back, I would say that the church I was raised in was a sound doctrine. It just had a lot of legalism attached to it. And so when I started modeling, I did a specific photo shoot after the movie Avatar came out. And so this is it here. And when I posted this on Facebook, now you would think that the flack that I was getting was coming from the older folks. No, it was not. It was coming from the young people. And so I posted this on Facebook and oh my gosh, I think the straw that broke the camel back was when the presiding president of the entire mission at the time was contacted. The picture was sent to him and I think he reached out to my mom or something like that, but it was bad. And at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm out. And the reason I was out too is because I was aware of an affair that was happening between this person and someone that I knew personally. And that was another reason why I was like, yeah, church people are hypocrite. And at that point, I started doing the most. I started partying and drinking and having the ball, having a good time. And let's not tell people that the world have nothing in it, because that's a lie. When you're in the world, you do have fun. The issue with the world is that there is no good end to having such a lifestyle. You can gain everything, gain all the fun and all the wealth and everything and lose your soul. But when you're in the world, you do have fun. And finally, the third thing that also made me leave the church was I felt more love from the world. I felt more acceptance from worldly people. It felt like my unsaved friends had a softer heart and kindness towards me than people who were supposed to be in the church. And it was very, very difficult for me to want to be around anything like that. So what brought me back to Christianity? Well, I stayed out into the world for 2 years. As I said, I did have a bump up time, but there was something that was missing. There was a void in me. And I think train a child in the way that they should grow, and when they get old, they will not depart from it, was very apt in my situation, because I will not say that I was brainwashed at all. Some people will say, you were brainwashed and that's why you went back. No. Honestly, I had a personal encounter with the Lord. I remember laying at my aunt's house. I was home alone. My aunt has a big 4-bedroom house. And I said, God, if you're real, prove it. And I heard an audible voice say to me, arise, woman. Now, I was scared because, as I said, I was in a big 4-bedroom house alone. So I got up I walked out to the veranda. I walked to the different rooms. I kid you not, I searched the whole house. There was no one. I went back and I lay on the bed and I heard the voice again, but with more, it was more resounding and firm. Arise, woman. Specifically, that happened on January 23rd, 2012. It was so intense that I remember the date. January 23rd, 2012. And that day, I knelt down on my knees and I began to cry out to the Lord. And I said, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not believing that you were real. I was just hurt in the church and I'm fed up of church people. And he said to me that day, the relationship is between you and I, not between you people and I. Never look to others as your measuring stick or as your meter, but basically vet yourself against the word of God. And so from that day, I made a decision that I was going to give the Lord my life. Did I stay 100% sane throughout that time? No, I had my little ups and downs, but I maintained over time. I continued growing in my faith. And so I can tell you that since I made the decision in 2012, that I have seen, heard, experienced some things in the church that if I didn't have such an encounter with the Lord, I would have been done with Christianity. And so I want to encourage you that if you would have experienced some hurtful things in the church or you've seen things, we have to stay focused. We cannot lose our focus, because honestly, that's not going to be a good excuse. Hey God, well, I saw Sister Jane having an affair with Brother Joe, so I was like, it's a wrap, I'm done. He would still say, depart from me, you worker of iniquity. So that's what allowed me to leave the church. And that was also my experience as in me getting back into the things of Christ. And I can tell you, since I've changed my focus and I focus on God, and I am satisfied. I am satisfied. I am not swayed by what I see here. No, it don't sway me. And I hope and pray that if you are challenged mentally at times by things that you see or know happening in the church, that your focus will be so tunnel visioned that you will just see Jesus and your faith will be solidified. So that's my story. Hope you were blessed. Take care.